want to feature a group that's got a brand new album out, and they're also playing on the sunny coast at the Andina Hotel this Friday night. The band's called The Demon Drink, and Kieran Waters is joining us now. Kieran, congratulations on the album Highway Robbery.
Oh, thanks for that, Big D.
And off to Andina this Friday night.
So, yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
So have you already launched the album in Brisbane?
Yeah, we launched our album in Brisbane on the 14th of July at the Bloodhound Bar in the Valley there, and had a bunch of people turn up, so we had a good time. Since that, we did a weekend in Sydney, played a couple of shows down there, and just trying to get out and about and around the place and spread the word.
It's quite an eclectic sound The Demon Drink has. You certainly couldn't just bundle it in one genre, could you?
No, well, I mean, I suppose part of the reason for that is there are two songwriters in the band. That's myself and my brother Adrian, who goes by the name Barron Field. We have kind of differing approaches, I guess, to songwriting. He's very much a lyricist, actually, and writes probably more in a sort of a country blues style, whereas mine is potentially a bit more, I guess you'd call it sort of melodic with a bit more sort of a pop rock edge to it. But I guess it's the first time we've ever been in a band together. Well, we've actually been in bands together before, but it's the first time that we've actually shared the songwriting duties. So it's been interesting and good in that sense because there's two different approaches.
It was funny when I was listening to the album, interesting that you talk about brothers, the sibling side of it there. When I heard it, I heard a lot of a feel of the early stuff from Australian Crawl, and obviously the Rain Brothers behind that. So I don't know if they were an influence in your music
Well, it's funny
career.
you should say that. We actually do a cover of Boys Light Up. We loved that band. All of those great Australian bands, and I suppose we're very we hold a lot of respect for that sort of work ethic in Australian music. You know, that the bands do get out and play, and particularly back then. I mean, you know, there was very much more an environment for it back then, although it has started to come back. But people love to go and see live music in Australia, and bands sort of, work hard to make sure that people are entertained. And so a lot of those bands like, Chisel and Midnight Oil, and a lot of those sort of bands from way back then, and particularly because they sounded uniquely Australian, I suppose that's something that appeals to us as well.
Well, we're talking to Kieran Waters from the Demon Drink Band, and they've got their debut album out, Highway Robbery. Now, Kieran, when we first listened to it, we've gone trying to pick out all the different instruments, and it's not until you grab a hold of the actual album and you open up that cover and you start reading through some of the instruments that are on there. How many collectively do you think you've actually been put on to this album?
That's a good question. I haven't actually done a tally myself, but as a standard format, we are a five-piece. So we've got drums, bass, acoustic guitar, and banjo. My brother and I sort of swap between acoustic guitar and banjo. We have a slide guitar player, Mick Destiny.
You've even got a didgeridoo on here.
That's right, yeah.
The mandolins, you've got the organs and all that sort of stuff. So, okay, well, we'll maybe make it a little bit easier question. How many instruments do you play?
Well, generally speaking, I play acoustic guitar, mandolin, and a bit of banjo, and a bit of harmonica. Particularly between my brother and I, we swap between those kinds of instruments, and then the other boys sort of just fill in. But it all sort of has its place, and I suppose that keeps it entertaining and interesting for us as well.
Well, if you want to get along this Friday night, folks, get along, see the Demon Drink. They're at Yandina. You'll be able to check them out. And if you do get along there, why not get along and support them by buying an album? Get the boys to sign it. Like them on Facebook and follow them, because that's what we want. We want live music out there. But yes, get along there and see the Demon Drink and say g'day to Kieran and Aiden and all the boys.
There's no secret that Queensland as a whole are fantastic supporters of live music, and the Sunshine Coast is probably one of the meccas. So congratulations for getting up here on the sunny coast and joining us there. So Friday night, 18th, get there around 7, go and say hello to the boys there at the Andina Hotel. And we're going to play one of their songs right now, and it is called
Saturn's Rings.